Well, thank you very much for coming today. Today we're going to talk about at this press conference the actions of heroes and the filing of criminal charges. First, I'd like to introduce the people who are up here with me. I am joined by Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna, Baldwin Park Police Chief Robert López. Also up here are Baldwin Park Police Officer Anthony Pimentel. We are also joined by Baldwin Park Mayor Alejandra Avila and Baldwin Park Chief Executive Officer Enrique Zaldivar. When I talk about charges, by the way, I want to make it clear that any charges I talk about are not evidence of a crime. They are just the charges that have been brought. A defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. But I will be talking about the charges that have been filed today. These charges have been filed against Eduardo Medina Berumen. An individual is 22 years old. 5 different charges have been filed against them. The charge has been filed of murder in the first degree with special circumstances based on his murder of Baldwin Park Police Officer Samuel Riveros. A second charge of first-degree murder with special circumstances has been filed based on the murder of Darius Wong, 43 years old. A third charge of attempted murder has been filed based on the attempted murder of Baldwin Park Police Officer Anthony Pimentel. A fourth charge of attempted murder has been filed based on the attempted murder of Baldwin Park Police Officer Alfredo Leal. And a fifth charge of possession of an assault rifle has also been filed based on the possession of a .223 caliber assault pistol that was found at the scene with a 30-round magazine and approximately 40 to 60 expended casings were found near that weapon. These crimes occurred at approximately 7 p.m. This past May 31st. The sheriff will go into detail about the investigation that has been carried out by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. But I talked about the notion that this press conference was not just about the filing of criminal charges. It is also about recognition of the heroism of the officers involved. Officer Riveros heard that there were basically effectively shots fired. He was entering an open shooting environment when he decided to put the safety of his community ahead of his own safety. When the bullets were flying, he ran into those bullets to try and keep his community safe. And in doing so, he made the ultimate sacrifice of his life. Officer Pimentel, who is here, also threw himself into this potential firing zone, putting his own safety behind the safety of others, actually being injured by a bullet that exploded through a windshield with shards of glass coming at him. Thankfully, he is here today. But the heroism of both officers Riveros and Officers Pimentel, joined by another officer, Officer Leal, who, again, putting himself in danger, went to assist Officer Pimentel and assure that he was out of the firing range of this particular assailant, while also returning fire, trying to keep the community safe, with no regard, quite candidly, for his own safety compared to the safety of his fellow officer and the safety of the community. These are actions of heroes. And we don't need to talk about superheroes and comic book heroes because we have heroes in this exact situation. And not just in that particular day at that particular hour. Police officers who enter this profession basically say they're not just going to protect and serve when it's easy. They're going to protect and serve when it's difficult, when it's dangerous, when it could result in this ultimate sacrifice of their life. And I will say that there's only 2 words that myself as a district attorney, the entire district attorney's office and the public has to say for that type of commitment to public safety, and that is thank you. You have our eternal gratitude. Before this press conference, I had the chance to talk to Officer Riveros' family and express to them directly how incredibly grateful we are for the fact that Officer Riveros is a true hero and willing to give his life to help others. I spoke to the Wong family. Again, these are grieving families. This is where every single minute is the longest minute possible as they deal with the loss and the tragedy that their families have suffered. And when I was speaking with the Wong family, they wanted me to extend to the Riveros family how incredibly appreciative they were that an officer was willing to come to unfortunately, Mr. Wong wasn't able to survive, but willing to come to see if they could help him and deal with this tragedy that was unfolding in the streets of Baldwin Park. Again, it shows that the enormous gratitude that the public has, that even the Wong family has in this moment of ultimate tragedy, that they're willing to reach out to the Riveros family and say thank you. So again, this is one of the more difficult press conferences. This is the type of press conference you never want to have. But we will ensure that justice, that the sacrifice that Officer Riveros made, that Darius Wong made, that the other officers made, is honored through the justice process and bringing Mr. Baruman to justice and making sure he is held fully accountable for his actions. I'd now like to introduce Sheriff Robert Luna.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here to cover this very important but tragic story. I just wanted to start off, Mr. District Attorney Hochman, by thanking you. I don't know if you caught on. Obviously, he's very passionate. Who wouldn't be, right? He literally himself chose to call the victims' families. That says a lot about your character. And on behalf of our department, and I'm going to say the residents of LA County, thank you for taking the time to do that. Not everybody chooses to do that. I'm going to start off by extending our condolences from all the men and women of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to the hero that we're hearing so much about, and that's Officer Samuel Riveros. Not only to him, but all the members of the Baldwin Park Police Department, from their chief on down. We were with them Saturday night. Your people are extraordinary, and it's amazing to watch their professionalism, even in their most difficult time. So thank you for representing all of our professions so well. I'm very happy to see Officer Anthony Pimentel here today. And in my notes, it says, wish you a speedy recovery. But the fact you're here with us, thank God. So it's good to see you. The last time I saw him was Saturday night, and he wasn't looking this good. The trauma that he, not only the physical injuries that he suffered, but think about the mental trauma of what he witnessed. None of us get over that right away. I also want to extend our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of 43-year-old Mr. Darius Wong. The DA talked about him. He was senselessly murdered that night, we believe, by the suspect that the DA is going to be talking about. Not forgotten, he was a husband. He was a father with two young daughters. So this loss is devastating to their family and all of us. So we can't not talk about him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of steps here and talk about what we believe happened at this time. Please keep in mind that I'm giving you the facts as we know them now. And I say facts, that's going to change. The investigation is still ongoing. We have our homicide detectives that are currently still working on the case. As a matter of fact, I wanted the detectives here with us, but they're out working the case. So a lot of the details, for example, about the weapons, they are being forensically analyzed. So that hopefully will be ready by the time we get to court. That's what we expect. But I won't be able to answer that here today just because a lot of detail. And when we give information, the standard is we have to be 100% correct. So excuse me if I can't answer specific questions. So I'm going to go back to Saturday on May 31st at approximately 7:12 p.m. The Baldwin Police Department received a report of a man armed with a rifle shooting on the 4200 block of Phil Hurst Avenue in the city of Baldwin Park. The call was updated as they were arriving, stating that a person was lying on the sidewalk unresponsive. That ultimately, unfortunately, was Mr. Wong. As officers Anthony Pimentel and Alfredo Leo arrived on scene first, and they were in separate cars, they were immediately fired upon by this suspect who had a rifle. An officer-involved shooting occurred at that time, and Officer Pimentel was injured as a result of the suspect's gunfire. Officer Samuel Riveros arrived shortly after, and he was tragically struck by the suspect's gunfire. And unfortunately, that ended up being a fatal gunshot. Additional officers arrived on scene, located the suspect, and engaged the suspect in a second officer-involved shooting. They also discovered Mr. Darius Wong lying on the sidewalk suffering from gunshot wounds. The suspect, 22-year-old Eduardo Roberto Medina Berumen, sustained gunshot wounds and was transported to a local hospital for medical treatment. The suspect remains hospitalized at this time in stable condition at a local hospital. I do want to throw something out here. When I describe this very chaotic scene, shots being fired, you can only imagine the chaos there. I really want to give kudos to the Air Support Bureau from the LA County Sheriff's Department who came in to assist the ground units. I have heard from several officers on the ground that they were instrumental in guiding officers to the right place so that no other officers were shot or even worse. So I just want to thank our pilot and co-pilot who were up at that time. An AR-15 style weapon with 2 high-capacity magazines was recovered at the scene. Every time I hear about a rifle, an assault rifle like this being used on the street, it makes the hair on my neck stand up, specifically when they're used against any community member, specifically one of our deputy sheriffs or police officers. And I just wanted to throw out this quick stat. In the month of May, our department, the LA County Sheriff's Department, recovered 218 weapons throughout the county. 127 of those resulted in arrest. So our men and women are out there, and the DA described this. We're going to calls all the time. Shots fired, somebody with a gun, and our men and women do not hesitate. They run in, they make arrest, recover weapons, and 99.9% of the time with no shots fired. Unfortunately, that didn't happen this time because of the suspect's actions. The Sheriff's Department remains fully committed to supporting the Baldwin Park Police Department throughout this investigation. From the onset, our homicide investigators and forensic teams have been working tirelessly to ensure a thorough and impartial investigation. I would like to recognize the hard work of our homicide investigators, Robert McGahee and Ernie Castaneda, for taking the lead on this investigation that I'm describing. This tragedy is a painful reminder of the dangers that law enforcement face daily. Officer Riveros, along with his fellow officers, ran towards the danger without absolutely no hesitation. And that's an act of profound courage. I don't care how you put that out. And his sacrifice will not and should not ever be forgotten, because when he came to work that day, he put on that uniform and he expected to go home that day. And that's what makes this so tragic. I do want to commend the swift and coordinated response of the Baldwin Park Police Department during this tragic event. Their professionalism and courage in the face of danger reflect the very best in all of us of our profession. I also want to take a minute here to recognize the surrounding agencies that immediately stepped in to assist, including our own members of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I already described their support, but the men and women of the industry station. But we also had the California Highway Patrol respond. We had the El Monte Police Department respond, the West Covina Police Department, Irwindale Police Department, and then ultimately the LA County District Attorney's Office, who was assisting us with the investigation. Anyone, and I threw this out because this is what we know at this time, but it is critical that if anybody out there has any more information about this shooting, about this suspect's history or background, please make sure that you call our detectives at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Homicide Bureau at 323-890-5500 or call Crime Stoppers if you want to be anonymous. There's still a lot of work to do to put this case together as we continuously work towards prosecuting this individual. With that, I am going to now turn it over to the Chief of the Baldwin Park Police Department, Robert López.
As you can imagine, this is extremely difficult for me to be here in front of you to discuss Sam Riveros. Sam was a dedicated officer who represented our department with dignity and honor. In the face of danger, Sam selflessly put the safety of others before his own and gave his life doing so. He was a part of our family, and it's hard to express what a tremendous loss this is for our department and Baldwin Park. We will never forget Sam. We are leaning on each other each day in our shared grief as we move forward. And that includes the folks from the city of Baldwin Park, an amazing outpouring of support and love for us at this time of need. So I want to thank them as well. And also take the time to thank the Sheriff's Department, the DA's office, for the amazing support that they've given us throughout the days that we've been dealing with this. And for me, there's not enough words to thank everyone that's been there for us. So thank you. Thank you.
So, Chief, know that the DA's office, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, all of law enforcement, and the public are there for you and your officers and everyone in Baldwin Park as you go through this tragedy. And again, Officer Riveros, his ultimate sacrifice will not have been in vain. We will ensure that justice and accountability flow from that sacrifice and make sure that that occurs not just in this case, but in all cases. I also like to thank the two deputy district attorneys who will be in charge of this case, have also joined us up here. It's Michael Michelena and David Avesian. So thank you again for your efforts in this case. The sheriff and I will now take questions. After we're done, we're going to have Maria Ramirez come forward and address the Spanish-speaking audience. So if there's any questions for the sheriff or myself, yes.
Are you considering the death penalty in this case?
So right now, the charge is a first-degree murder with special circumstances have one of two penalties. They either have a life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. This case will go through the death penalty review that we outlined a number of months ago. That review won't be completed most likely for a number of months, at which point we will announce whether or not we'll be seeking the death penalty.
Can you talk about what the special circumstances are and when he might be arraigned and where?
So the special circumstances are multiple murders, and with respect to Officer Riveros, the murder of a peace officer. The arraignment was actually going to happen today. My understanding is that there has been Mr. Baruman is still in the hospital, so there is the arraignment did not occur today. We anticipate it most likely happening sometime this week.
Do we envision or do we know what the actual original circumstances was that brought the deputies there for the shots fired? Why Mr. Baruman opened fire at whom and for what reason?
We know that, well, let me ask, I'll invite the sheriff to answer that question.
We're still looking into that. I know that there's been reports going as far about a dispute over a parking spot. I'm here to report facts. We don't have facts yet to support that. The detectives are out there still investigating it, and as soon as we know a motive, obviously we're going to let the district attorney's office know, and at that time we'll make a decision if we put that out publicly now or we wait for the appropriate venue, which is the courtroom.
Any prior connection between the suspect and Mr. Wong?
That's still being investigated.
Do we know the origins of the weapon? Was it legally owned?
Our forensic folks are examining that weapon from one end to the other. That's obviously a question we have. Where did it come from? How did he get his hands on it? Maybe he was the appropriate owner. We don't know the answers to that yet, but we intend to find that out, all of that out.
The extended mags you mentioned, are those legal to own in the state or not?
Based on what I know at this time, early stage, no, but we're still examining that.
All right, I'll invite
I
one last question.
Just, I want to make sure I have the nature of the injuries correct. Obviously, you filed attempted murder charges related to the two surviving officers. Officer Pimentel was injured. Were either Officer Pimentel or Officer Leal, and I'm sorry to talk like you're not here, but were they actually hit by gunfire? Were they hit by shrapnel? Were they simply fired at? Just what was the nature of the injuries?
With respect to Officer Leal, we don't believe he actually was hit by any of the bullets. With respect to Officer Pimentel, again, we're speaking about you, even though you're here. He was hit by shards of glass that came from a bullet that we believe hit a windshield or a side windshield. But again, that entire crime scene is still under investigation.
Do we know actually who put down the suspect who was shooting at that time?
There was a series of multiple officer-involved shootings. There were subsequently Baldwin Park police officers who arrived to assist. And in that second volley or the second officer-involved shooting, that's when the suspect went down. Again, in regards to rounds being fired, what exactly happened, we are still putting all that together as we speak.
We have Officer Pimentel, a question?
Not at this time.
There's a GoFundMe for Mr. Wong, and in the description it said that he was shot in the back. Can you confirm if that was true or not?
Not at this time. We still have the autopsy to go, and again, we have to report on facts. And I know there's a lot of information out there, but it's our job to verify everything. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have Maria Ramirez give you some words in Spanish.
Anybody interested in Spanish? We could do that separately since it's the only one.
Great.
All right, again, thank you very much for coming today. Maria Ramirez will address the Spanish-speaking audience, and very much appreciate you coming. Thank you.